Hi, Math 211. I'm going to go over set 3, number 52. Marty has 3/4 of a bag of candy, and he gives Jane half of his candy. How much of a bag of candy does Marty have left? All right, so let's think about this pink rectangle that I have down here. Let's think about this as a bag of candy, and so I'm going to use my pencil and indicate where 3/4 of a bag of candy is what Marty has. So if I take this bag of candy and I split it in half, that's not very straight. I'll try it again. And then take each half and split it in half. I should have 4ths. And so Marty has 3/4 of this bag. And so what the problem says is it says that he gives Jane half of his candy. So he doesn't give half of this entire amount of candy. He gives half of what he has. And so he has 3/4. So he has these 3 pieces. And so if he gives half of that, you might think about taking this and splitting it again to think about how you could give away half of that. And by me taking each of those pieces and splitting them in half, I take 3 pieces, and now I make 6 pieces, which I can figure out what half of is. So he gives away half of this. So this, I'll label 3 of these 6 pieces as Jane. This is what he gives to Jane. And he keeps the rest. So how much of a bag of candy does Marty have left? So if we look at our whole of the bag, he has 3 of these smaller pieces, but how many pieces of this fit into this whole pink rectangle? Well, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 would fit here. So Marty has 3/8 of a bag of candy. If we were to think about an expression, an arithmetic expression that we might want to write for this, he is giving away half of his 3/4, and half of 3/4 is 3/8. But this is actually what Jane gets when you do half of 3/4. So what Marty is actually keeping is his original 3/4 minus 3/8. And it just so happens, though, when you do this, that this actually ends up being the 3/8 here. So this is Marty's. All right, so let's visit the next one. Marty has 3/4 of a bag of candy, and he gives Jane half of a bag of candy. How much of a bag of candy does Marty have left? You'll note what is different here is, I'll highlight this in yellow, is this piece right here. The problem almost looks identical as the one above. Marty has 3/4 bag of candy, and it's also dealing with a half of a bag. But what's different is he gives Jane half of a bag of candy. Now let's look up here what it said. It said half of his candy. So that's different. He's giving Jane half of a bag of candy. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's go down to our rectangle, which represents a whole bag of candy. I'll split it in half and take the halves and split them in half to make 4s. So again, this is what Marty has. Marty has 3, oops, I wrote Mary. Marty has 3/4 of the bag. So this is what Marty has, these 3 pieces here that I've bracketed. And he gives Jane half of a bag of candy. So in this case, if you're looking at it, and you see what Jane has, he's giving Jane half of a bag. He's not giving half of what he has. He says, here's this whole bag, and you're getting half of that bag. And so in this case, the pink rectangle represents our whole bag of candy, so he's giving Jane half of that bag. So he's giving Jane these 2 parts of the 4. So what Marty has left then is a 4th. Oh, Mary again. Okay. So if we were to think about this as an expression, this would be Marty having 3/4 of a bag of candy, giving away a half a bag of candy. So it's 3/4 minus 1/2, which is